Coming up on Sports Night,
Men's basketball falls to some tough opponents.
lacrosse looks to right the ship after being on the wrong end of an upset.
Women's basketball takes on two ranked opponents.
Carly, great to see you on desk hosting for the first time. How are we feeling?
I'm a bit nervous, but I'm excited to be doing it with you.
Wow, wait, me? Well, ditto. But wait, what do we do after this?
And I'm supposed to be the rookie. It's Sports Night right now. Welcome on to Sports Night. I'm Carly Ellermeyer, joined today by Raghav Koslov.
Carly, have you been keeping up with the Winter Olympics?
Yeah, I've actually watched all 300 hours of curling content we've been given. Some electric stuff right there.
I mean, I really like how fast-paced it is. Real end-to-end stuff that keeps you glued to the screen. Almost like the basketball action we got this past week. After the tough loss to Michigan last week, the ranked matchups did not stop for the Cats as they headed to Nebraska for a matchup with the top 10 Cornhuskers. Northwestern and number 7 ranked Nebraska playing the second of 2 regular season contests, this time at the Pinnacle Bank Arena in Lincoln, Nebraska. 2 minutes down and we are knotted at 0. Runk Mast with the rock kicks it outside to the leading scorer, Price Sanford. He shoots and he scores. Huskers on the board. Nebraska out to an early lead. Jake West wouldn't have it. Passes it to Nick Martinelli. His 3, no good, but there's Angelo Chiaravino right under the rim. Gets that putback to go. All tied up at 10 now. Jordan Clayton sends it to Martinelli, who finds Jaden Reed deep. He steps inside, pulls up for that trademark mid-range, and nails it in Sam Hoiberg's face. Cats up by a few now. Chiaravino, transition opportunity, cross court to Singleton. He drives inside and gets the and one to go. Huskers, though, coming back towards the end of the half. It's Mast in traffic, finds Sanford again. What's going to happen? Another three-pointer. Cats trail by 1 at halftime. Back and forth affair. In the last 20 minutes, Sanford, 4-3. He cannot miss. Nebraska pulling away. Cats trail by 15. Hoiberg with the steal. And it's Sanford again. Can this guy stop scoring? And that would do it. Nebraska takes this one 68-49.
And the Cats look to staunch the bleeding of a 5-game losing streak against Maryland Wednesday night at Welsh Ryan Arena. Early in the game, Arrington Page finds Jake West. West makes a move inside. He gets it to Nick Martinelli, who steps back and lets it fly from mid-range. Northwestern up 7 early. But the Terps would keep it close. They swing the ball around the arc until it finds Andre Mills in the corner. And you can't leave a guy like Mills that open. He connects to cut the Cats' lead to 5. But you know who else you can't leave open? Jordan Clayton. Martinelli dribbling around, not making progress, finds Clayton in the corner, who drains Trey. Cats enter up to half at 35-34. In the second, it's still number 11. Martinelli finds Clayton by the arc. Clayton makes a guy miss, takes a breath, and knocks another one. The guard putting on a masterclass in Evanston. Maryland not giving up, though. With 8 to play, the ball again finds the hands of Mills near the top of the key. He finds the look he wants, he pulls the triple. He nails it as the Terrapins trail 53-58. Mills racks up 39 points during the game. But Clayton responds immediately with this 3. Take a bow, sir. The junior scored a career-high 26-point and 26 three-pointers Wednesday night. 4 of those 3s came in the second half. Less than a minute to play, West dishes to Martinelli. Martinelli hesitates, drives inside, and lays it up off the glass to put the Cats back up by 7 with 46 seconds in play. Martinelli led the team with 26 points, and just like that, they've done it. The Cats end their 5-game losing streak with 78-74 victory in Maryland. The Cats will travel to Bloomington, Indiana on Tuesday to face off against the unranked Hoosiers.
Following the shocking defeat to an unranked Colorado team in the home opener last week, Kelly Amonte Hiller's squad were looking for a pair of get-right games at home against Army and Central Michigan. Coming off that just inexplicable loss against unranked Colorado last week, the number 2 Cats look to get back on the right track. Time for the Lake Show against the number 20 Army Black Knights. They start on the right foot. Maddie Epke working around the fan and putting it through. Cats outscored the Golden Knights 4-0 in that first quarter. And how did they do it? Capping it off with a Lucy Monroe goal, the second of the afternoon. And the Cats, well, they're really loving it. What a celebration on the sideline. Well, the Black Knights wouldn't go down without a fight. Early in quarter two, free position, and Lily Valentini rifles it into the net. Army back with some momentum. A few minutes later, they're running, they're dashing. Who is it? It's the Cats. Down the field, Riley weaves into the lane, shooting, and Army scores. Now 2 straight momentum goals for the Knights as they go into the halftime on the back of those 2 goals. And now we're in the third quarter. Close game. Northwestern still trying to pull away. Taylor feeds Monroe behind the back. Yes! Make it a hat trick for the senior, and you up 4 now. And now the Cats are really hitting their stride. Who's it going to be when the Cats need someone to deliver? Well, it's going to be Maddie Taylor. Pass from behind the net to Taylor, and she does what she does best. She gets the score, and Northwestern, they're going to put this one away. And who else is it going to be but Maddie Taylor? Right here, she finishes with a hat trick. Northwestern ends up winning 18-7, the final.
The Cats were back in the Fieldhouse the very next day against the Chippewas. And although Valentine's Day was over, NU kept spreading the loves amongst itself. A big offense day, and it starts with rising star DT Foster getting Northwestern on the board, the first of 4 goals for her, tying her career high. Later in the first, Taylor LaPointe finds an open Maddie Epke for a score. But wait, she's not done. Northwestern comes roaring down the field after winning the draw, and she finds another, an early 5-0 Cats lead. You're probably wondering where Maddie Taylor is right about now. Don't worry, she's right there. That goal surged her past Cats legend Erin Kuykendall in the program leaderboard in points. She now owns the number 3 spot. But Sienna Connolly could also be on her way up after the first point of her young career. Cats on a 16-0 run. And speaking of her first career goals, how about one for Annabelle Mahoney? Hugs in abundance for the red shirt first year. Cats have done more than run away with this one. They practically ran to the moon with a sure W. Lauren Archer caps off the day by going back-to-back. This was the latter of 2 scores, her first of 2026, and teammate Claire Morosi is giddy for her. Northwestern with a statement 25-2 victory. The Lake Show goes on this weekend with a visit from Marquette this Saturday at 7.
And when we come back, we take a look at 3 critical games for the women's basketball team as they jockey for a spot in the Big Ten tournament. Don't go anywhere.
Trying to work my way out of the prison system was the most difficult challenge of my life. It only became tangible once I became a Northwestern student.
One, two, three, four.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Welcome back to all of our loyal followers.
All those people watching, Carly. Keeping with that Olympic theme, I heard you were quite the skier back in the day.
Yeah, 6th grade ski club might have been my athletic peak.
My skiing skills peaked when I was 3 years old. No future Olympian for the Coastlers, but they did get a Coastler that can tell you about some women's hoops. Coming into last week, women's basketball sat 1 spot out of the 15th seed, that last seed that enters the Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis. They had an opportunity, 3 of them, to snag a big win, starting with a top 10 Michigan Wolverine squad. Northwestern women's basketball faced a tough Big Ten matchup last Thursday as the Wildcats took on the number 7 ranked Michigan Wolverines. Early on in this one, Grace Sullivan takes a slick feed from Taylor Thomas and lays it up for the 2. Cats trailed by just 3 after a quarter. Northwestern continuing to pile it on in the second quarter. Caroline Lau nails the 3 to put the Wildcats on top by 6 at halftime, but from there, it was all Wolverines. Third quarter, Olivia Olsen knocks down the shot through contact as Michigan continues to blitz the Cats, and this game became a runway by the fourth. Olsen continues to dominate near the post, getting the better of Casey Harder and knocking down another bucket. Michigan prevails in this one by a final score of 80-58.
Northwestern making the trip out east to take on Penn State, battle of 2 bubble teams. Early first quarter action, Casey Harder with the ball drives past baseline, stops, and pops for a short mid-range bucket. A few minutes later, Penn State up 5, ball lofted inside for Gracie Merkel, who fakes and then finishes over Grace Sullivan. Heading into the second quarter, Cats look to fight back. Sullivan gets it down low and this time finishes over Merkel and gets the foul. Big play. A couple minutes later, it's Harder with mid-range, but the Cats trail 36-22 at the half. Third quarter action, Lau races up the court and finds wide open Zima Walton, who knocks the 3-pointer down on the right wing. Bench is fired up. Early fourth quarter, Cats down just 9. Caroline Lau gets space and buries a 3. Cats clawing their way back. Penn State on the attack ball in the paint to Amaya Evans, who finishes over 2 defenders. Penn State extends lead back to 9. 45 seconds, now or never for the Cats. Walton finds a cutting Grace Sullivan, who throws it up over Merkel and banks it in with the foul. Huge bucket for the Cats' leading scorer. But it's too little too late. Penn State gets it done at home.
And the Cats stay on the road and visit East Lansing to take on the number 18 Michigan State Spartans at the Breslin Center. Cats looking to start strong. Caroline Lau, she lets it fly from downtown, following that step back and drains it. But MSU wouldn't relent. Abby Kimball now knocks down a triple of her own to match Caroline Lau. The Spartans would go 13 of 26 from beyond the arc, Cats trailing 55-28 at the half. Michigan State building on their lead. Sarah Sambolic finds the star, Grace Van Sluwen, with the pick and roll. Van Sluwen led the hosts with 22 points, and despite Grace Sullivan leading all scorers with 23 points, Northwestern ultimately drops their 8th game in a row by a margin of 104-68. Following the 3 losses, the Cats are running out of chances to make it to the postseason tourney. Next up, an in-state rivalry matchup against the Fighting Illini on Sunday.
The Cats face tough opponents this week on the wrestling mat. It's senior night showdown in Evanston. The Wildcats host the NIU Huskies. Ty Wilson making his debut. He gets the leverage under Landon Johnson and throws him to the ground for a last-second takedown. After a comeback, the senior J.D. Perez looking for a sudden victory success, and he gets around Ian Smith's hips to win. But NIU is just too dominant. Devin Dawson grabs Gabe Christensen's leg, gets a hold of his neck, and brings him down to the mat with a slam. 3 individual victories for the Cats, but it's not enough as the Huskies take it 28-9.
Following that senior night loss last Sunday, Northwestern Wrestling welcomed the number 11 ranked in-state rival Illinois to Welsh Ryan Arena. Now after a forfeit and a tech fall, the Cats found themselves in a hole early. Josie Hickman, though, would hope to spark a change, down 1 with only 10 seconds left, and Hickman finds the takedown. Even with riding time secure, Will Basinger could not do enough to turn this match around. Northwestern finally on the board. However, that spark would not last too long. 2 matches later, and Illinois' Kanan Webster would find the pin against Ty Wilson. This was the first of 2 falls for Illinois on the day. What a dominant day for the Illini, and it would be them the rest of the way. Fighting Illini tallied a whopping 44 points to tie the 2nd highest score in program history. Cats fall to 1-7 in conference play as it loses its 8th straight duel. Regular season coming to an end for the Cats, and they're going to travel to State College on March 7th for the Big Ten Championships.
When we come back, Swimming with Sutro is back, previewing the postseason for the Cats. Don't go anywhere.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Ready, set, go!
Carly, in honor of that goal that U.S. women's hockey won today and men's hockey will win soon, I got a pun for you.
What is it?
What do you call a dinosaur that loves hockey?
I don't know. Patrick?
Yeah, pretty old. That's a great answer. Anyways, it might be time to break the ice and dive into some swimming. The Big Ten Swimming Championships are upon us. The women's finals have gotten underway and the men's championships kick off next week. No better person to have in your studio to explain the proceedings than our very own Adam Sutro. Sutro, swim away.
Swimming with Sutro is back in. Boy, do we have a splashy schedule for you all today. Northwestern's women's swim and dive has already made the journey up north to Minneapolis for 4 exciting days of action spanning until February 21st. Meanwhile, the men's team will compete next weekend in Wisconsin, and I'm here with you to preview all the action. Everybody says they watch basketball or football for the storylines, the drama of the transfer portal. The Michigan Wolverines are set to win their first women's swimming title since 2018 off the backs of the transfer portal. They secure one of the biggest swim transfer signings of all time, getting Olympian Bella Sims from Florida. How about that drama? Sims will be the MVP of the meet. She already helped Michigan set a Big Ten record in the 800 free relay on night 1 and should win 3 individual golds as well. Watch Sims as much as possible, especially in the 200 IM and 100 backstroke, which will be heavily contested events. Last year, the Cats were deemed the most improved team in women's swimming by SwimCloud. This year, Rachel Stratton Mills' squad is set to see more improvement. Northwestern is projected to finish 7th at Big Tens, even though they're not a top-heavy team, and may only finish top 8 in 3 events. Rather, they're deep and should score a lot of points off of a plethora of finishes in the 9 to 24 range. If anything, make sure to check out Zoe Nordman, the Cats' star swimmer, in the 1650, where she is seeded 4th. Indiana is likely to place second on the women's side, but the Hoosiers will be inevitable in Madison. Ray Luz has his boys firing this year with Zolan Sharkhan, Owen McDonald, and Luke Whitlock ranked 1, 2, 3 in the Big Ten. Sharkhan, the humble Hungarian, is the pride of Bloomington and will be gunning after the 408.6 conference record in the 500 freestyle. In fact, all the freestyle events at the men's championships will be much-watched television, especially the 200 freestyle relay, which consists of 5 teams seated within 0.61 of each other. Finally, how will the Northwestern's men's team pan out next week? I have the Cats penciled in to finish 6th, 1 spot better than they did in 2025. Stuart Seymour is currently seated 2nd in the 100-yard backstroke with a real chance to come away with 1st place. Joshua Staples will be competitive in every event he swims, seated 3rd in the 400 IM. And Northwestern has an opportunity to medal in the 400 freestyle relay, seated 3rd entering the meet. Do not miss out on swimming these 2 weeks. Carly, Raghav, thank you.
Thanks to you, Adam. Tune into the championships over this week and next for some swimming and diving action.
Women's softball went 1-4 this past week at the Shriners Children Clearwater Invitational. Northwestern faced a couple of very tough opponents in the number 17 ranked Georgia, number 8 ranked Texas A&M, and the number 1 ranked Texas Tech. However, the Cats found success against Missouri, prevailing 3-0 over the Tigers, behind a dominant pitching performance from Marina Mason. Mason threw a complete game 2-hitter with 9 strikeouts. While the Cats' bats initially struggled to get hot, they put up 5 runs against the Aggies with a weekend high despite losing by 1. While the trip was short of wins, the Cats still showed a lot of promise as they held all their opponents within 5 runs. But this performance continues to display the Cats' impressive defensive abilities as they have yet to give up double-digit runs for the first 10 games of the season. Up next for the Cats, they have the Razorback Invitational, where they'll be taking on number 8 ranked Arkansas and Southeast Missouri State starting on February 20th.
Northwestern kicked off its season, baseball that is, this weekend in Houston at Rice University, going 1-2 against the Owls. In the season opener, the Wildcats fell 6-7, falling just short of an impressive comeback after being down 4 in the 5th. Junior outfielder Jackson Freeman, the star of this team, highlighted the Cats' offense with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs, while Jay Slater, the Duke transfer, added another 4-bagger. After a high-scoring Game 1, the second game went scoreless through 5 innings until Owen McElpatrick drove a ball over the right field fence to put Northwestern up 1-0. The Cats held the lead until an 8th-inning error led to 3 unearned runs for the Owls. Despite the loss, Ryan Weaver shone on the bump, tossing 7 scoreless innings and only allowing 3 hits. Looking to avoid the sweep, Northwestern brought the power in Game 3. The Cats crushed 5 home runs en route to a 17-6 run rule victory in just 7 innings. Noah Ruiz, the graduate student from Biola, smacked a pair of home runs along with a whopping 7 RBIs. Jack Lausch and Jay Slater added on with tanks of their own, and Matt Kauser earned the Wildcats' first win this season. Freeman went 4 for 4 at the dish with a trio of RBIs, capping off a weekend that earned himself Big Ten Player of the Week. Even with a 1-2 record, the Cats hit their way to a +9 run differential over the series. They'll look to bounce back against Cornell and Boston College this weekend in the Hub City Invitational.
The Wildcats had a great performance at the Spartan Suncoast Invitational in Sarasota, Florida. Northwestern finished first out of 15 teams in the event, finishing with the best team score at the event in Round 1 and Round 3. The Wildcats had a solid performance in Round 2 as well, finishing tied for 4th, just 3 shots behind the leaders for the day, Oklahoma and Ohio State. Diana Lee was the standout performer, with the Wildcats ranking first on the individual leaderboard with a -4 aggregate score across the 3 rounds. Megan Meng, Hisin Talin, and Ashley Yun all finished in the top 25 of the individual players. Joining Lee near the top of the leaderboard, the Wildcats will move on to Darius Rucker Intercollegiate at Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. Northwestern will enter the tournament ranked 21st in the country, but will have an uphill battle as 3 teams in the field are in the top 10 of the national rankings.
And now we go to tennis. The sun is shining and the weather is warming up in Evanston. But what could make it better? Sweeping wins for both men's and women's tennis this past week. The men took home a statement 4-0 win over the Illinois State Redbirds. After an early lead taken by Grayson Casey and Carter Pate in a 6-2 doubles win, the Wildcats, they never looked back. The women's team came off a 4-contest losing streak and flipped the script against Fordham, winning 7-0. Nina Feldman led the way for Northwestern and put up double breadsticks in her first singles match. The men's team looks forward to a match against Notre Dame on Friday. Meanwhile, the women's team is set to maintain their winning track against DePaul on Sunday.
And here's where you can catch the Cats.
First up, we have lacrosse. They host Marquette in Ryan Fieldhouse on Friday at 7 p.m.
Then on Sunday at noon, you can see men's tennis at the Combe Center where they face Denver.
And right after tennis, head to the Welsh to catch women's basketball play in-state rivals Illinois at 2 p.m. Sunday afternoon.
When we come back, we've got some of the best plays from the past week. Stay tuned.
I'm Kelly McEvers, founding host of the NPR podcast Embedded.
I'm James Edwards, host of the Unresolved podcast from Frontline.
I'm Antonia Cereijido, former senior producer of Anything for Selena podcast and current executive producer at Elias Studios.
My narrative, since I've been locked up and kind of made my transition, has been like redemption, accountability.
When I come into the classroom environment, every individual that sits amongst me takes education seriously.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Raghav, as we wrap up our show, that means it's also your last block hosting.
All right. We don't need to do this right now, Carly. I'm gonna cry, and I can't cry in front of Leo. I think it'll make him too sad.
You're right. No one needs to see that. What the people are clamoring for, though, is Plays of the Week.
Absolutely. What better way to kick off end my final show, with Plays of the Week. Play number 3 brings us to the Battle of the Land of Lincoln Wrestling Edition. Josie Hickman secures a last-second takedown to win at 141, hunkers down on the leg to prevent an escape as time expires.
Play number 2 sends us to Ryan Fieldhouse for some lax. The Chippewas learn quickly that leaving a Deacon Foster in isolation is a terrible idea. Smooth finish for the score. Cats dominate Central Michigan.
And what else would the play of the week be besides Jake West climbing the pinnacle of the bank and depositing a loud 2? He's been raking up highlight-worthy plays of late. I mean, the TikTok star is actually a star on the court.
And that's all we have for you tonight on Sports Night. Raghav, any last words?
Well, that's slightly ominous. All jokes aside, it's been a pretty good 4 years. I've had a lot of fun as a part of this club, being on desk, running it with some of my best friends. Leo, Anna, Patrick, Fallon, all of you guys who are here meant so much to me. I could go on and on, just start listing names. I don't think anyone wants to hear that. Carly, you can just close this out from here.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at @NNN_sports and Twitter at NNN Sports. For Raghav Khosla, I've been Carly Ellermeyer. Have a resilient Thursday night, Evanston.